we're going to jump again through time forward to 948. So this is a year prior to the events of season 3, and we're back at the palace, at the Ferelden Palace, and I'm going to say that Maximilian is with his son, Prince Nathan, who is now a teenager, and they're sparring right now. You and your son, this is like something that you guys do together.
Yep.
And even though Nathan, he's a very healthy teenager, he is a strong teenager, he still has a hard time keeping up with you. He can use a sword. He's not fantastic with it. He can get by, but very easily, I wouldn't say easily, but he still has a ways before he can best his father. So
I'd hope so.
So you guys are doing a bit of a sparring, and you know there's the clanging of the shields, clanging of metal against metal, and it gives you, even though you're still more skilled fighter than he is, it still gets you sweating.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a moment where I think he'll make a mistake, some sort of like a battle mistake, which essentially allows you to rather easily disarm him because he left himself open, vulnerable. And at that point, when I guess you'll be able to disarm his sword, and he'll still have his shield up, and I don't know if you say anything or react when that happens.
Okay.
He sort of gets a little frustrated, but he tries to keep his shield up.
I have told you several times, Nathan, think with your head, not your heart. You have to intercept the blade, and you have to remember where it's gonna go and where it's at. All right?
He wipes some of the sweat from his brow. Yes, Father, I know. You're right. Sorry about that.
Oh, don't be sorry.
Be better. I know, he says. He will maintain his stance, though, and he is going to try to move his direction towards the sword that is on the ground. I'm assuming you're probably going to try to block him.
Yeah, using my feet work.
So you're going to do feet work, and you're still going to attack him even though he doesn't have his weapon. He still has a shield, so you're still going to continue sparring.
Absolutely.
Even though, again, Nathan is, again, not very savvy with the sword as you are, or even with the shield, he still is quicker than you. And he does manage to outmaneuver you to the point where he rolls on the ground and tumbles and grabs his sword again. And you'll continue sparring. And when he grabs a sword, he has a moment of...
That's a neat trick.
Right, he'll have a moment of, look what I did, ha ha ha. But then that... Yeah, exactly. Right. You go dunk, and
sword
then...
plays no place for theatrics. Theatrics? No. Yeah. I'll give him that.
You finish your fencing match, maybe with a few bruises, mostly on him. And I think he's going to go over and get himself some water from a flask. Good fight, Father, good fight.
It was. Are you okay?
He says, well, I wouldn't... My body is fine, my pride is a bit damaged, but I think it'll heal in due time. It's still admittedly healing from the last time we sparred, however.
You just have to endure.
Maybe my pride will form a scar.
You have to fall to learn how to get up. Remember that. Don't worry about it.
He starts gathering some of his things, and, you know, while you guys are setting up, because I think you have a meeting coming up soon.
Yeah.
And so while in between, while you guys are putting everything away, Nathan is going to ask, Father, I was just wondering, if I woke up one morning and manifested mage powers, would you be disappointed?
He turns around and faces his son. Disappointed? I am proud of you, Nathan. Proud of the man you become. I may have imparted my wisdom in you, but you're your own man now, and I have full respect for your wonderful mother, who is a mage. And I know if you became a mage, if you woke up and one day could hurl fireballs, you would follow the law, head to the circle, and you would be the best mage ever.
He'll smile at that, and then he says, when I grow up, I was just wondering, what do you see me being when I grow up, regardless if I'm a mage or not?
I see you being a proud man, a man who knows honor, empathy, logic, maybe even a leader. Don't make rash judgments. You will think about your options and your resources and act accordingly. You're a smart man, Nathan. And whether you wield a sword or a magic staff or statecraft, sure, I would love for you to follow in my steps. Be a sword and shield man, leading from the front. But I think rationally. I can't expect everyone to follow me just because they're my blood. If I let my feelings roam free, then perhaps I would be disappointed in you not following in my footsteps. But whatever you choose, as long as it's a lawful and honorable and rational path, I'll be there for you.
He smiles just for a brief moment, and then quickly after that, he hangs his head a little bit and he's looking at the ground, sort of avoiding your eyes a little bit, and you realize that there is something still deep in his mind. He is thinking about something.
I know you're better than this, Nathan. Come, speak your mind.
I'm getting older, Father. I'm becoming a man, and people are already looking at me with deep expectations. I mean, being your son, you're a hero of Ferelden. You saved people from the Blight. You became the Viscount, and now you're the king. I just feel like people are constantly watching me, wondering what I will become and what I will do. And to be honest, Father, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I wondered where this was going to come up. As I've said, you're your own man. Don't think about them. Think about us. At least now, until you find yourself. And when you do, then think about everyone else. What's good for this place? What's good for you? What's good for the people around you? This is not about them. Not now. For me, it's about them. I am a king. You need to find yourself first. Then make it about them. Now, make it about you.
Is that how you, I guess, became to peace with where you ended up in your life?
If I thought I would be king, someone who practiced statecraft, I would laugh. I was a guardsman. I was a nobody. I enjoyed my work, sure, but responsibility found me, and I stepped up to the plate. Just as you must, if it finds you. someday.
At that, you will hear somebody behind you clearing his throat. My liege, it is the voice of Plim.
Plim? What can I help you with?
He will also nod at the prince, Your Highness, and Plim will give, Nathan will give Plim a very warm smile, and he says, your guest has arrived. I told them to wait just outside of the throne room.
Excellent. Nathan, finish up here, and I'll see you later.
Yes, Father. We'll talk again at supper. And with that, you will go and meet the person that you were meeting with. Now, you are, as I said, in alliance with Parvalan, the Canary. And you have had a number of visits from the Arigena. The Arigena, just to refresh everybody, is one of the 3 heads of the Qun. So most people know about the Arishok. The Arishok, you can think of the 3 pillars as 3 branches, or even the 3 parts of the Qun body. So the Arishok represents the body. So he's about like military, the military force of the Qun. The Arigena is the mind of the Qun. So they are responsible for like innovations, for mercantile things, trade, inventions, weapon inventions, for example, and stuff like that. So most of the time you have been visited by the Arigena, again, because of your dealing with trade, as well as all of the stuff going on with you getting Gatlock, them getting airships, stuff like that.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Yes. And then the final pillar is the Arikun, who is the soul of the Qun body. And they are, as it would imply, in charge of the spirituality of the Qun, the religion of the Qun itself. And so you are a little bit surprised because while the Arigena visits you, it is the Arikun who is visiting you today. And he is accompanied by this elf as well. And he is dressed in these red robes, sort of, with like the symbol of the Qun, of the Canary symbol on it. And when he sees you, he will give you a respectful bow with the head. Your Highness, King Sunworth of Ferelden.
Welcome to my court. I am surprised to see one of the Arikun here.
Indeed, he says. I assure you I will not be taking too much of your time. I am merely here out of courtesy. I have business here in Ferelden, and I thought that out of respect, since we were in the area anyway, I wanted to personally come to thank you for everything that you have done for our people in Parvalan.
It was my pleasure, and thank you for what you have done for my people. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. We have a good alliance, and let's keep it that way.
Trust me, Your Highness. We definitely recognize the importance of our alliance, and we look forward to continuing to work with you again in the future. I also came to you with a small request. Nothing that you necessarily have to completely keep in mind, but he will then look towards the elf, and the elf will walk up towards you and will also give you a respectful bow. And the elf says, Your Highness, we are in search of an individual by the name Dandelion. I don't suppose you are familiar with anyone that you have come upon by that name.
Why do you seek this person?
He is an individual that had gone missing many years ago. Normally, we would not even bring this up to someone like yourself, but his location has become important recently. And we just wanted to know that if you by any chance have any information, have any clues, we would appreciate any knowledge you could provide. If not, perhaps be on the lookout for such a person. I trust that the name Dandelion is not a common name around Ferelden.
It is not. I will inform my spy master and see what he can come up with.
Most appreciated, Your Highness. Thank you. The Arakun will then look around as well and says, "Your palace is quite grand, Your Highness."
Oh, well, thank you. I did not build it myself, but I hear it's a good bastion, and I am settled, so to speak. I am content here on my throne.
In that case, Your Highness, if there is nothing else that you wish of us, we will leave you for the rest of the day and be on our way.
One small thing before you go.
Yes, King Sunworth.
I had expected to talk with the Aragena, but do you know when the next batch of Gatlock powder is inbound?
He will smile. I believe that the next shipment is, if I remember, from my previous conversations with the Aragena, I believe the next shipment is a bit delayed due to unforeseen circumstances.
I see. Let us hope it is not a long delay, then. Go in peace.
We as well. We hope that this issue will be resolved swiftly and as quickly as possible.
Maximilian just nods.
Okay. And with that, the Arakun and the elf will be off.
Maximilian will lean into one of his guards, fetch the spy master, and tell him about this dandelion. But if you find him or it, talk to me first. We need to know who this person is.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys remember, I know it's been a while, so I don't blame you if you don't remember this at all, but there was a point when, in Dragon Age Season 2, when Lealden was with your group, and there was a message that Connor gave to Lealden, and I specifically said that nobody will find out what that message said until Season 3. So Connor will arrive at the breach, and he will ask for you guys to gather, and he wanted to talk to you. And by this point, he and Ken are now married. And is Kenna showing or not yet?
By 30, it was 39. Ah! 30. I think she definitely would be showing, but she's trying to keep it a secret as much as she can.
What? No,
a lot of heavy birds.
Ginger babies.
So I think, to be fair, I don't think you would be showing yet.
Okay.
I think you will have been recently married.
Okay.
So I don't think you'd be showing yet. Maybe you have an inkling that something's happening, but whether or not you want to say anything this early, I don't know. So, okay. So Connor is going to gather you all, and he says, okay. And Violetta is going to say, oh, calm down, Connor, calm down. You think after going through the whole proposal, you would have been able to calm your nerves down quite a bit.
If you need more diagrams, buddy, I got you.
No. No more no diagram.
Are you
No
sure?
need for
The
diagram.
honeymoon is supposed to be a special time, and time to try something. Okay.
Okay, this is serious, guys. This is serious. So, I have something I need to let you guys know about, and I'm coming to you because this is something that conveniently Maximilian and Delwyn and Grenelle and Blealden are busy doing other more important things, obviously. But do you remember, probably back in the day, it's been a few years, so you probably don't remember, but I had given Blealden a message while you guys were adventuring with the whole breach thing. I gave him an important message. It was from Gwennael. Basically, Gwennael was doing research and trying to make sure that the blights never happen again. So, we believe we have found the location of the final 2 archdemons, where they're sleeping in the deep roads. The problem is getting to them to destroy them, because in theory, if you destroy both of the remaining archdemons, you destroy future blights. Getting to them has been a long, arduous, dangerous prospect. But we believe that we managed to finally find the chamber of one of the sleeping archdemons, so we can slay them. But the last we heard from the diggers, the miners who were helping us dig, something went wrong and we lost contact. And Gwennael wanted me to find people who were willing to help me find out what happened. Simple mission, right? Connor says.
No, not in the slightest.
Hold on, are we the B team?
Yeah. I'm not sure what that means.
I mean, like, you're the other
team that comes before the first team.
Yeah.
Substitute?
Well, he said that everyone else is busy, so instead he came to us. I feel like he should have come to us first.
Well, as fast as airships are, your Alluvions are way faster.
I mean, that's true.
Okay. What exactly do you want us to do? We can't exactly just waltz in there and slay an archdemon. None of us are Grey Wardens.
We're not Grey Wardens. We're not, like, allowed to, are we? Do we have to be a Grey Warden to do that?
If you slay an archdemon without being a Grey Warden, it'll just jump to the nearest available tinted being.
But we know Grey Wardens.
We do. Yeah. Sunaya, right?
That's a good point. That's why we do have we have enlisted the help of a Grey Warden to come with.
Okay. What?
So you want us to go down into this chamber, protect the Grey Warden long enough for him or her to deliver the final blow to the archdemon?
Yes. Or I could ask somebody else. But I have to be honest, I don't know of anyone else who is nearly as capable as you guys are.
He has a good point.
It could be really fun.
You should have started with the flattery first.
Yeah, you should have said we're the replacement team. Should have been like, you guys are the best.
I could leave the shop with Samson for a little while.
Great. Fantastic. Okay. I guess just prepare to venture into the deep roads. Yay! Just like old times.
Yay!
All right, I've got to go send some letters telling them that I'm going to be away for a little while.
Yeah. And everybody's going to need to cover up because the second Darkspawn blood touches you, bad stuff. Make sure that you're covered top to toe.
Oh, I don't want to cover up, man.
Well, either that or get tainted, Andrea.
Damn.
You guys are going to make your way to the entrance, the cavern entrance in the deep roads, to where for the last almost, not quite decade, but for the last several years, they have been digging. Gwenail and has been putting a lot of resources into digging to try to find where one of the remaining 2 archdemons are. And you are met with a Grey Warden, relatively young looking Grey Warden. He will greet you all and he will say, "Greetings, Penta'Viv Guardians. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Grey Warden Lento."
Lento.
Good to see you.
Hopefully my services will not be necessary, but if the time does come, I am prepared to make the sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
All right. Well, that's good.
Well,
Let's keep going.
what happens if something happens to you while we're down there? I mean, we don't have a backup.
My suggestion is for you to turn back around and we will come back with another Grey Warden.
Good with that. Okay.
Run away. Got it.
You guys will delve deep into the deep roads, and for a while is relatively uneventful. When at some point, maybe after traveling for a couple hours, because again, this runs very deep, literally, you all sense a presence. And I'm going to say that Lento is going to be one of the people that actually notices this presence first, because he will hold up his hand and he says, "I sense Darkspawn. At the ready."
I'm going to start applying poison to my arrows.
I'll bring in the shadows so that we get in a little bit stealthier.
Yeah, you can easily shroud you guys so that you will not be seen.
Pull out my great sword.
I forgot how cool she was. Oh my god.
You will turn the corner and you will see a group, I would probably say about 8-ish, I would say like 8 Darkspawn that seem to be consuming what appears to be like the corpse of a dwarven miner. A dwarven miner. It's devouring this corpse. And the really troublesome, disturbing thing about these Darkspawn is these are Darkspawn unlike anything you have ever seen before. They are twisted in shape, and they seem to have body parts that you just have never been accustomed to seeing. For example, one specific Darkspawn seems to have sprouted bat-like wings. Another one seems to have formed, you can see his maw. It's like a very insectoid-looking like head with a very like long, sharp, razor-sharp snout-like thing, insectoid thing. Another Darkspawn seems to have sprouted a scorpion tail.
Oh, that's cool.
And even Lento, who again appears to be a relatively young Grey Warden, seems to be taken aback by this. They have not seen you though because of Kenna's shroud. So, what do you guys do or say?
I'm going to cast Life Ward on Lento.
Oh.
So he don't die in this contest. If he does, he comes back.
Theo,
I
see him.
I see him.
That's not normal.
It's not. Be ready. I'm about to fire.
All right. Who attacks first?
Unless any of my other PCs react quickly.
I'll
okay.
wait for the first arrow for Theoben's arrow, and then I'm going to use my bracer to do like that lightning charge in on another darkspawn.
Okay.
All right. So again, we're going to hand wave the initiative order. So Theoben's firing first. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Are you fighting at one of the darkspawn I've described, or another darkspawn?
Whichever one is face deep in the dwarf corpse.
You will fire your arrow, and again, you've done this for years and years and years, so without even rolling, you will be able to hit your target. Where were you aiming at on this darkspawn? Like square in the face? Like...
Yeah, in the brain if possible.
You will strike it in towards the brain area, and you hear this chitinous insectoid screech as the acid and poison, as the poison starts penetrating into its brain, and it starts flailing uncontrollably. And as it flails, you see in the silhouette, it starts flailing these 8 spider-like legs, like tarantula spider-like legs, and it seems to be out of not having control of its body as it's flailing around. You're saying Cedric charges at one of them?
Yeah.
Cedric will lightning charge at anyone in particular that I described, or a different one?
Is the one with the wings the one that Theoben hit, or was that a different one?
It's a different one.
Okay, I'm going to go with the one at the wings and try and use my reach with the polearm to kind of like decapitate it.
All right. Just roll 3d6s and tell me what you get.
Okay.
I want to see how well. Let me know if you have stunts.
It's a 5-4-3.
Okay. All right. You were able to hit the darkspawn. These darkspawn definitely are hardier, more defensive, stronger, which is not surprising because these darkspawn seems to have evolved in some sort of twisted form. So you can black blood starts gushing out of its neck. It seems to be phased but not down as it tries to claw at you. He actually manages to grab a hold of your shoulders and starts to lift you up in the air.
Okay.
Why does this feel so familiar, Kevin? You being picked up by a bat-like creature up in the air. Why does this feel so familiar?
Oh no.
How about Kenna or Andrea?
If it's okay with Theo, I'd sort of reach my hand out for him so that I can turn into sort of like a stone creature. If he's good with it.
Yeah, he's good
And
with
then
it.
I'll go there and I'll just sort of Dragonade pummel the ground at the scorpion creature.
Yes. That scorpion creature goes off balance. He falls prone on the ground. His tail whips out and tries to lash towards your direction, however. His long scorpion tail starts to strike towards you. However, Connor gets in between you, and with his wand, he conjures his shield. He conjures his shield, and it hits the wand with a clang. You can see from the way that Connor stumbles back that it was a very strong, forceful thrust. And Connor's a strong guy, so the fact that he stumbled back means this is a very formidable Darkspawn opponent.
Step on it and I'll try and rip its tail.
Okay. You will set yourself up to try to rip its tail. Andrea?
Well, is there a place where I can wing like a fireball and not hit Cedric? Or
Yes.
All right. I want to do that then, if I could. There we go.
You hurl a fireball. Let's say you'll hurl a fireball that manages to hit 3 of the darkspawn that you haven't hit yet, and their bodies erupt in flame. Immediately, the room gets filled with this nasty burnt ichor. I don't know how to pronounce it. Almost like a cross between burnt tires and and rotting meat in the air as they burn.
That's
and yeah, very pleasant. Then one of the darkspawn that looks the most normal, because it doesn't look like it has any extra body parts, starts to charge at the Grey Warden Lento, but the really creepy thing about it is that it doesn't just move by like running towards him. It sort of like crawls, similar to in the horror movies, like those.
It's like that little girl from The Ring.
Right, like the little girl from The Ring. The little girl from The Ring is, or like from The Grudge, is like, running up to him, which freaks probably most people out. But with Lento, manages to catch the creature with his greatsword, with his heavy, broad, like two-handed, like greatsword. Starts to catch it and actually manages to lop off and slice off one of its limbs. But with its 3 limbs that are left, it seems unfazed and leaps at the Grey Warden, and like pins the Grey Warden to the ground. So going back in the initiative order, we have Theobin.
He'll be using his poison and just be firing arrows. Actually, I think he can fire more than one. I think that makes a difference. So he'll just do that. He'll just keep firing arrows.
Okay. You're going to keep firing arrows. I'm going to say you're going to hit the 3 with multi-arrow shot. You'll hit the 3 that were already on fire by Andrea, and they will drop to the ground lifeless.
Nice!
So you got 3 out of the 5. 3 out of the 5. 3 out of the 8. 5 left.
Nice shot.
Yes, I'll be harvesting some darkspawn.
There we go. I missed that. Cedric, you are up in the air.
Okay, so Cedric, just thematically, like as he gets lifted, he would drop his halberd, just from like the sheer like shock of it, and he has his hand axe, like his battle axe, like tucked beneath him, like by the small of his back, and he'll pull that out and just continue to hack away at the creature's neck.
Okay, you do that. Again, blood is like pouring out all over the place. The creature tries to screech, but you're actually cut its vocal cords, so the screeching does stop abruptly. After that, who's next in initiative?
I think I was ripping the tail off the scorpion.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me 3d6s and let me know what you get.
Here, you can harvest that too. Darkspawn scorpion poison.
Yeah, I can't wait. Theo can't wait to study these.
13.
13. All right. You will strike hard on the tail. You hear a crunch, as if like you stomped on a cockroach.
She got 3 stump points too.
Oh, nice. You hear a crunch as you stepped on a cockroach, and this pus like goo just oozes out from the wound as the tail falls to the ground next to you. And the tail, even though it's detached from the darkspawn, it's still like flailing around, like snapping around, like trying to sting you, regardless of the fact that it's been detached. And it actually will manage to sink down into your shoulder as it's sneaking around. And you start to feel very quickly your shoulder grow numb.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't know if I have any more things to do or if we're going to wait till next turn.
Yeah, we're going to wait till next turn. I'm going to say that Connor will shout your name. He will cast a spell that will strike at the poison end of the tail, and that will like disintegrate off in it'll freeze actually. It'll freeze and then shatter.
Coolest.
Aw. Alright, I'm gonna try and like charge over and like use my great sword to like knock the one on the Grey Warden. 24.
Oh, well, yeah. You will be able to... So you're trying to get the Darkspawn off of him?
Yeah.
With your sword? Yeah. You'll be able to slice through its torso, and again, blood will continue seeping out of this torso, and it'll start, like, it'll stop, not completely moving, it sort of, like, spazzes a little bit, and then slowly will fall lifeless. The Grey Warden jumps onto his feet again very swiftly, and with his great sword he will charge towards the bat-like creature that has Cedric. He will leap off of a rock formation to get just within reach with his great sword to slice right through one of the wings of the bat. And the bat tries to keep itself afloat with its other wing, but it's failing miserably, and both him and Cedric start to fall towards the ground. Am I missing anyone else before going back to the top of the initiative? Alright, back to the top with Theobin. I think you have 4 out of 4 left.
You know, Brody.
And I think it's so hard. This is a very, like, climactic battle, and I've got baby names in the background. We'll say those are all the Darkspawn.
I was going to say, he's playing the Darkspawn. He's just starting.
Yes. All right.
I need to stop kidding. So the Darkspawn that's threatening Cedric, is that one still alive?
It is. It's missing a wing, but it's alive.
Okay.
Yeah, we're falling to the ground.
I'll shoot an arrow at that one.
Okay. I'm going to say that you will be able to hit it right in the head, and that Darkspawn will go limp dead as it falls to the ground. Cedric's still falling. Cedric, you're up.
Do I feel it, like, as it dies, do I feel like it, like, let go of me a little bit?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I hold on to the rest of its head, and then I, like, finish cutting off its head. And then as I fall, I'll try and land straight up, like, you know, kind of like land on my feet.
I say you'll be able to.
Okay, so I'll land on my feet, and then as my minor action, enter Berserk mode, take the head and throw it at the other Darkspawn and just, like, roar at them.
Nice. You'll hit another Darkspawn. That Darkspawn will hiss at you in a very insect-like way.
Andrea's like, still got it, babe.
Nice. And then after that, we are with Kenna?
Yes.
Kenna.
So I think with the stinger, it's sort of took her by surprise, and she sort of probably drops her form. But I think what she would do after that is she would let out like a massive battle cry that sort of ends in the sound of like Esbjorn's roar with her. I think it's the bar talent, but we kind of tweaked it to where she can make animal noises, and so that just makes everyone, it like bolsters them and gives them an extra attack, like an extra bonus on their attacks.
So Connor is gonna just, I think he's, as much as he, of course, he wants to attend to you, he needs to get rid of these other 3 Darkspawn first. So he's going to charge over at one of the Darkspawn, the one that has the long, like, snout-like thing, and he is going to bash it over the head with his shield, and then cast another spell, which again freezes its maw tight and encasing it in ice.
Cool.
Can I use my bracer to take the ice that Connor just made and make it like shard into the creature?
Yes. Yes. You will. Yes, you can shape the ice to your will, and all these like spikes like shoot around it like a pincushion, and then with the sheer force of that also causes its head to snap this way, and you hear a crack as it snaps its neck, and then it falls over dead.
Yeah, Connor!
The Grey Warden also charges, and there are 2 Darkspawn left, so he sort of holds out his sword and just kind of swings it around, able to strike a slash down both of the 2 Darkspawn across the chest, which seems to have weakened them considerably, so a follow-up will probably finish them off. Okay, back to Theobin. 2 left.
Okay, sure. So which ones are still alive?
There's 2 Darkspawn. I'm gonna say the thing about them that makes them different is that they have these. They're furrier. They've got all these hairs around them that look barbed. They have these barbed hairs.
Are they relatively close to one another?
Yeah, I would say they're relatively close to each other.
Okay, so I want to pull out one of King Kine's bombs.
Nice.
And hurl it over towards them.
You'll hurl it towards them. Is this just a regular incendiary?
Yeah, just a standard firebomb. Yeah.
You take one of the grenades. Maybe you do the thing where you bite an end of it.
Yeah.
You toss it towards the 2, and as they are charging towards your direction, there's this big explosion, and both bodies go flying in opposite direction, slamming into the opposite walls, and you hear like a splat. And again, more of this ooze comes out of their bodies as they slide down the wall dead. And I think that's all of them.
I want to collect the ooze.
Nice. Yeah. So gross. Super.
Great work, everyone. The Grey Warden says. Anybody hurt?
I can't feel my arm.
Kenna got stung.
Oh.
Theobin, maybe you could check to see if she's been poisoned?
On it. And Theo will kind of approach her, kind of
I'll lean down.
And kind of give her a very kind of brief kind of look at her to kind of check that it's okay to touch.
Yeah.
And then he'll inspect the wound, try to see if he can see any coloration, signs of taint, signs of poison, etc.
Yeah, so it looks like the fortunate thing is it doesn't look like this is filling up with taint, but it does seem to be filling up with venom of some sort, some poisonous venom that could, if not treated in a short while, it'll spread through her bloodstream, and once it reaches her heart, it will instantly kill her. So, you believe
I don't
that...
tell Kenna that.
You don't tell Kenna that. You believe, though, that it is... You should be able to whip up an antidote that she can ingest. Well, I'm sorry. It would be an antidote you have to administer quickly, so you would have to, inject it into her shoulder. But, yeah, you would have to work fast in order to create it.
Okay. And I assume, do I have the components on me to do it, or do we need?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do.
So Theo would kind of spread his arms out. Okay, everybody, back. You need to give us space. Kenna, I need you to lie down.
You lie down. You're starting to feel a little bit lightheaded. You're feeling a little dizzy. as you're preparing the herbs, there seems to be like where the sting was on her shoulder. There seem to be like boils starting to form in her skin.
Yeah, Theo will put his hand on her forehead, kind of check the pupils, do the general kind of checkup, and then he's going to start. First, he'll give her something for the pain, like some elf root to chew on, and then he'll start trying to whip up the antidote.
Okay. It should take you about 10 minutes. Fortunately, the poison you think will take 30 minutes to get to her heart. So you have time. 10 minutes is plenty of time.
Despite that, I think Theobin will try to work quickly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just for kicks, roll me 3d6s. I just want to know what you get.
Just for
kicks.
Is this my poison law?
Yes.
22.
Oh, yeah. We'll say that with your expertise, you can whip this up in almost half the time, give or take. Maybe 7 or 8 minutes instead of 10. Mm-hmm. And you go to inject the antidote, the anti-poison.
Yeah. Before I kind of inject it in, Theo will kind of give her warning, because if she's kind of numbed from like pain relief at the moment, then she might feel a slight sting. So Theo will kind of warn her about that and just say, that this is going to hurt a bit, but this should work.
She injects you. It hurts, but not nearly as much as the stinger hurt. Not nearly as much. And very slowly, you do see the markings on her skin, like the blood vessels started to darken a little bit. Mm-hmm. You do see it receding, which means that you believe the potion or the antidote is working. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say that Kenna, that the numbness is there, but noticeably starting to lessen, and your lightheadedness and dizziness is also starting to lessen.
Yeah, he would also wipe and decontaminate the area as well, just clean it basically as well.
Thank you, Theo.
Yes, thank you, Theo. Connor says.
Really, don't worry about it. It's for a friend.
The Grey Warden, Lento, has been taking the last 10 minutes examining the Darkspawn, and he's just shaking his head. I've never run into Darkspawn like this. I don't even recall there ever being any record of Darkspawn like this.
Me neither. I wonder if the Black King knows about this.
Oh. I hate, a boar. Oh.
I'm just gonna do a regular heal spell on poor Kenna so they can fix the boo-boo too.
Yes. Kenna, you will come up to full health. You will come up to full health. And Connor is going to say, I mean, as disturbing as Darkspawn can be, I never would have imagined they'd be even more. It'd be possible for them to look more disturbing.
Which of the old gods are we going after? Does it have anything to do with that?
Yes. So the old god that you were looking for is actually Razakale, as in the god that Razakale was named after. Because Razakale was named after one of the archdemons or the old gods. So it is old god Razakale as opposed to Darkspawn Razakale.
Full circle.
I'd like to start collecting bits and components from the bodies, both for kind of poison use and I suppose general study as well.
Okay.
Cedric was raging, so he would be tearing up all of the bodies anyway, so you could just pick up some of his stuff.
So you're gonna notice when you collect some of the entrails of the Darkspawn that the blood that you collect from them, even when they're in these little vials, they seem to be moving around.
Oh,
like there's a mass of blood that's sort of moving around in your jar, like a worm almost. Very creepily.
That's new.
Oh, I think that Connor will look a little bit green when he sees that. That's nasty.
It's not inside me, right? And her hand kind of like instinctively goes over her tummy.
No, the antidote should have negated the poison, Kenna. You should be fine. I can give you a bandage if you would prefer.
Yeah, I'll make something. It's fine. You play with your goop.
Very well. But Grey Warden's right. We are dealing with something unlike anything we have seen before.
I'm definitely going to have to report this back to the rest of the Grey Wardens.
And I'll have to report it to a few people as well.
If we're all good to go, we should press on, Grey Warden Lento says.
How far is this journey, Lito?
I would say another hour.
Kenna, do you feel alright to continue?
Hi, I'm alright. I'm good.
You will continue journeying, and again, in the interest of time, you will find a few more, not nearly as large of a group, like maybe ones and twos of these strange, disturbing darkspawn. But you guys will easily outnumber them during these instances and be able to slay them. Still not sure where exactly they came from or what caused this to begin with. And then, eventually, you will find yourself in a chasm that Lento will explain to you is the chasm where the archdemon is sleeping. But when you enter the chasm, you find it completely empty, with no sign of the archdemon, except there is this area on the ground that most of this room is dusty, but there's this like spot on the floor that is significantly less dusty than the rest, almost as if something was lying in that spot or sleeping on that spot, about as big as a dragon, as big as a high dragon. But there is no dragon there.
Please tell me that this is just an open chamber and we have to keep going forward to find the actual dragon.
Don't hold your breath, Cedric. I think this is where we were supposed to find it.
This is bad. Do we see like an exit, like where it would have anything big enough for it to crawl out of? Oh no.
Which means an old god has been awoken.
Connor says, does this mean that we're at the beginning of another blight? So soon after the last one?
It would have had to have been found by Darkspawn and tainted. That's what turns them into an archdemon.
Is that what happened? Lento?
We're pretty close.
Lento says, I admit I'm not sure. If there is another blight, that could explain why those darkspawn evolved, but I don't think that there's ever been any cases again of darkspawn changing over the course of the blights.
Can't be another one. We just recovered.
Well, if it just awakened, maybe we can find this archdemon and kill it before it really starts.
I know where it went.
Is there anything in the vicinity, or is it just a big open room with, like, a space?
It's a big open room.
Is it like high ceilings, or would it have had to walk through tunnels?
High ceilings, yes.
Oh man, I was gonna ask Kenna to track it, but if it flew, I don't think you can track it.
Unless it's like dripping sludge, but
Could I don't know if you'd allow me to do this, Hart. If Theoben crouched down and kind of put his hands on the earth, would he be able to maybe, I don't know, kind of pick up, sense anything about kind of like, you know, footprints or something kind of moving through, or, you know, any
Sure.
history?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me 3d6s. or your magic roll.
18.
Yeah, you will put your hand against the earth and you can almost feel like the earth itself is talking to you, or the stone is talking to you. And you get a sense of this place being undisturbed for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel that you can feel a disturbance recently within the last month or so. And you feel the ground as if it was bearing this vast weight, but then the weight got lifted all at once, almost as if it floated away as opposed to walked away. If that makes sense.
So kind of the weight was lifted off the earth, but then it didn't kind of venture forward. It just lifted.
It just lifted up into the air. And you don't feel like footsteps or anything on the ground. You don't feel that at all.
So this thing could have flown out of here.
I don't know, look way up. It's not like hanging above us like a bat, is it?
Oh god! I'll
shoot a fireball up there.
No, I'll cast like a bright light so that we can illuminate the entire area.
You'll cast a bright light and it'll show the shadows, and you do see what appears to be like a hole up in the ceiling, a large hole up in the ceiling, going straight up.
Oh, that bugger.
Well, that just confirms it. That we've got another blight on our hands.
I grab Connor's hand.
It'll be okay. We have people that fought this blight before. They're still alive, and you guys have kick-butt powers too, which we didn't have last time, so we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
We have to go after it. Otherwise, this entire world's going to descend into another blight.
Now that we have discovered that it is very possible, Lento says, that an archdemon has awakened, this is solely the responsibility of the Grey Wardens. I think that your part in this has ended, and you can allow us to take over from here.
No offense or anything, but we've already saved the world once. I've got 2 kids to protect. I'm going to be involved.
What she said.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh my gosh. Mother Maker, if you get her involved, that means I have to be involved. I was on your side, man.
He says, I'm not going to stop you. The Grey Wardens are always relied on the help of others throughout history. I just must warn you, though, that you cannot, as much as you would love to help in the situation, you cannot be the ones to kill or slay the archdemon.
Maybe not. But we got you this far.
Yeah, we can.
And we'll get you close to the dragon as possible.
I'm sure all of the wardens will be involved in this, so I say that we make our way back to the surface, unless you have a fancy way of going up that direction, he says, pointing upwards. Then we can regroup and decide what to do next.
Cedric, Theo, any ideas of how to go up?
I mean, I could go up.
And I could get the earth to bring us up.
Yes!
That was way better.
Yeah!
That's fine. So all of you will arrange yourselves right underneath the hole, and then almost like an elevator.
Yeah, it's just an earth elevator.
There's an earth elevator that just lifts you up very conveniently, which, if you think about it, will also plug up the hole as you go up. And eventually you will see sunlight up above, and you can start smelling fresh air, as the whole earth mass rises up into this large dragon-sized hole in the ground as you make yourself way back up to the surface. Still no dragon to be seen, but I think it's safe to say you know how it got out.
Can we tell where we are? Because I know the deep roads are like all over the place. So can we tell like where we are when it like left?
You were in the cavern beneath Hydern Turning. And if you don't know what that is, Hydern Turning is a location that in Dragon Age Quisition you went to in one of the DLCs. I think it was the Descent DLC.
Oh.
The Descent DLC, so that's where you guys were. And so Hydern Turning is near...
It started by a fissure on the Storm Coast.
Oh, the Storm Coast. Okay. Right, and you went down into the fissure.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, officially the Storm Coast. You find yourselves back on the surface near the Storm Coast.
Feel it, fresh air.